a huge legendary icon came to Pittsburgh.
Mickey Dolenz.
The
last surviving monkey.
Mm-hmm. He is the Monkees at this point. That's the full, every living member of the Monkees was there.
Dolenz Palooza.
Mm-hmm.
What a crowd, man.
Yeah, it was pretty packed. I didn't know what to expect because I'd seen him, on TV, maybe 15, 20 years ago. Like that was the most recent footage I'd seen of him that I can remember. And so I thought like, okay, what's this going to be like?
The last time I saw him was in 2007. Rob Zombie cast him as the gun store owner in Rob Zombie's Halloween. He has a great scene with Malcolm McDowell where he's trying to buy like a 44 Magnum from Mickey Dolenz. It's incredible.
So, I mean, that's a lot of water under the bridge. So I wasn't, again, but then he came out and he sounded great. He looked good and,
Yeah, his band was tight. He was touring with his sister, Coco.
They kind of had like an introduction for it. Like the whole band came out and then he got like an introduction and sort of walked on. And his sister, when she started like speaking, I thought, oh, that singer, she has like a very similar vocal quality to Mickey. I figured like, oh, it's to kind of double his voice. And maybe if like his voice starts to falter, he's got this person with like a voice that's kind of similar, but then it turned out that was his sister.
Yeah,
right? He's on tour with his, so of course she's gonna have like a similar voice.
His stories added were like amazing, like this way he incorporated the stories with the song.
Yeah, it was like a cabaret show. So yeah, he'd tell a little story to set the scene, and then maybe that would introduce the next song, or he'd have kind of like joke song, where he'd start singing like, he'd kind of set the mood.
He talked about, having dining with Paul McCartney and then being on the Sgt. Pepper recording session, being there. John Lennon called him Monkey Man.
He had like the hat, like
that fedora.
That fedora, yeah. And then he was wearing kind of like a Han Solo outfit.
Yeah, he had that. He was like, "You killed my brother."
Yeah, you dirty rat. And he had like those like little square glasses, kind of like the Ben Franklin glasses. And it's interesting, like in the 60s, they'd wear like those like little Ben Franklin, that was like the cool hip thing. And then it's like you age into like, oh, those are appropriate
glasses.
Glasses. Like you are now Ben Franklin. And, like he could have been like a Ben Franklin impersonator too.
Like he gets electrocuted through a kite or whatever.
Yeah, but he sounded really good. His voice, like, because he never had the Velvet Fog or like he didn't have these like dulcet tones. He had like he always had an interesting voice. So it was kind of like Dylan or something. That he's kind of had this voice that kind of serves him well in old age because it's rough.
Yeah, it's rough.
It's kind of percussive. He's got like a percussive voice.
His voice sounds exactly when he was speaking. It sounds exactly like he could still do some voice work. Like
he's got a good timbre. I was just really glad to see him just rock it. Like just really, he just doing the show. I had seen Brian Wilson perform. Like it wasn't like high energy. It was I think he was seated for the whole performance. Brian Wilson,
standing.
But Mickey was he was moving around the stage and
doing his tambo work.
Yeah, that was the other thing. Like being the tambourine, like that served him well too because it's like he can still do. They had the drum set. I thought that he was going to get up and maybe do a little bit of drum since he was the drummer for the Monkees.
Yeah, I thought that
we didn't
too.
get that, but we did get the maracas and the tambourine. Mickey had 3 guys in his band who all looked like they could have been Peter Tork. Like, and then there was like one of the guitar players looked like he could have been Mike Nesmith. and I think that's like I don't think that's unintentional. I think it's like because if you just don't know which Monkees are alive and which ones aren't, you're like, oh, there he is. There's Peter Tork.
My buddy Andrew kept saying that it was all Peter Tork impersonators. The band was called Maximum Torque.
There is that distinctive Peter Tork hairstyle, and they all had it.
They all had it. For the winter, I'm getting a Mike Nesmith like tousle with like the big like the green like. I think I'm going to track one down.
One of the stories he told that was interesting was about Mike Nesmith pitching a song to like the producers of the Monkees, and then saying like, "Yeah, no thanks," and it was. You and me walk to the beat of a different drum.
Oh yeah, for the Stone Ponies, Linda Ronstadt. Mm-hmm. What a great track! How did the producers that up?
And Mickey did his interpretation. He did a couple Beatles songs.
Yeah.
Like it was mostly Monkey songs. I got to hear all the ones I wanted to hear or expected to hear. Like I would have liked to have heard Harry Nilsson's song Cuddly Toy or something. But that's, you have your band, and that's not really like a band kind of song. Like that's kind of, one guy at a piano kind of song.
I was losing it when, I think the opening was like, not just step in.
Yeah, perfect.
So what a great opener.
Yeah, and then he segued it into That Was Then, This Is Now. And I thought that was good. That Was Then, This Is Now. Like that was a big hit when I was a kid. Like that was when I was getting into the Monkees in a big way. That was sort of the Monkey resurgence of like the mid 80s. And I like that song a lot. It kind of came out around the same time as Touch of Grey by the Grateful Dead.
Oh, yeah.
And it kind of has like a similar, like, it's not the same song. Like they're two different songs, but they kind of have the same kind of feel.
Yeah.
And they were both kind of like mainstreamy kind of songs from these, older groups. Yeah. I was pretty close to the stage. He was walking out and he's singing and he's looking out and he's looking at me and singing and I'm looking at him and singing, Like, I mean, it's most likely it's that illusion where like, it looks like
he sees my tambo playing in the crowd and he's like, that's the best.
You up here.
I'm
no,
like,
you, not you.
Two tambos.
Yeah. When I was a kid, and this was during that time when like That Was Then, This Is Now was a hit, and like the Monkees were making their big comeback. But me and my friends, we would pretend we were the Monkees and like lip sync, like play the Monkees record and then like sing along to it and stuff. And Valerie, because like Valerie was another one that I was singing, and that's also a Davy Jones, and like the guitar solo in Valerie, that was like my solo where it started like going nuts with the baseball bat,
I love it. Hell yeah. Bat. Like I would do hockey stick would be one.
Hockey stick, that's a good one too.
Or the remote control is always great.
Yeah.
Classic fretboard right there.
Did you hear Mickey said the first time he ever sang publicly was at Kennywood?
Yeah, oh my gosh. Like
that got a big reaction out of the crowd.
Huge pop, and he's like, then I had a permane sandwich and turned my stomach or whatever.
And I haven't been back since.
He's like, Heinz ketchup gives me the runs. That's what he's saying.
Boo. Can you believe we saw Mickey Dolenz?
I can't believe it. I'm
like here in Pittsburgh, little old Pittsburgh.
Dude, that was probably one of the biggest shows I've ever been. Like the crowd, like I like looked back up at like the audience. It was to the hilt. Mm-hmm. Like it was awesome.
It's like I've seen like Paul McCartney in concert and stuff. I think I like Mickey Dolenz better.
I can believe it. I was like, how is like is Macca gonna like top this? Like,
yeah,
Mickey and Paul and Ringo should join up to like a micro super group.
Wow.
Wouldn't that be awesome? Can we make that happen?
Yeah, I mean,
Like Paul on bass, Ringo will be on drums, and Mickey can do guitar. Because
he can play any instrument badly. He can be real bad on the drums, real bad on the guitar.
He's the funniest member of the group. Paul's like, why did you pack your Groucho glasses?
It is interesting that like there was this like false rivalry story of like, the Beatles and the Monkees having like some kind of rivalry or something. But it's like, of course, the Beatles are going to be like, they were
gentlemen.
The Beatles were just like way into the Monkees.
Oh,
it was like, here's a TV show of guys pretending to be us. This is awesome. This is crazy.
End of the concert, Mickey pulled out in like an SUV and like waved to the crowd. And I like was running after the car, like I was doing like a Monkees like romp, like
yeah, you were doing Monkeemania.
I was doing Monkeemania. I was gonna jump on the hood of the car, and Mickey's security starts like beating on me.
That would be funny.
It's like it didn't have to be this way, Mickey. He's like, hey man, what did I do to you guys? Merci. Dude, what a great time. Yeah. That was so great. Like one of the best concerts, honestly, ever been to.
Yeah, it was the right show at the right time. Like, I'm in the right place in my life for a Mickey Dolenz show that's like, 75% music and 25%, anecdotes.
Anecdotes.
And, yeah.
The Anecdotes really made it
I agree.
And
I mean, he's an entertainer, It was like, the Monkees or what, because it is that combination of like music and humor and entertainment.
Great outdoor setting, perfect setting, good weather, and it was free.
Yeah, we haven't mentioned that part. Yeah, we got to see him for free. That was, yeah.
It
was the most packed I've ever seen one of those shows. I saw Art Garfunkel at Heartwood Acres, like a free Art Garfunkel concert. So every now and then you get like one of those kind of guys, yeah.
Top tier. And like when we got there, like I was like, holy crap, is this like I don't know, I was like, are the Beatles here?
Yeah,
like
right.
It was like pandemonium.
Yeah, Paul was in the audience just as a fan.
I saw him there.
Do you know where Mickey was headed next? Like, is he on a tour, or was it just like they just told him like, oh, hey, come on out for the...
You know what? I didn't see any like really before or after. This might be like it was like a
special thing.
A special thing.
Like they kind of, we're looking at their budget, and it's like, okay, for this much money, we can get Mickey Dolenz.
They pulled him out of
Pittsburgh. A once in a lifetime thing. Like, I'm so glad I got to see it. I'm so glad we got to see it. Hopefully he comes back. We'll get to see him again.
On Spotify, I saw he has Dolenz Sings REM album.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Which I'm going to dive into.
It's a little late for Christmas in July, so I was hoping he'd sing I Can't Wait to Unwrap You for Christmas, their recent Christmas hit. But yeah, we'll see you.